Hey guys, what's up? Umar here with another video. So Google Algo leak, a lot of people are freaking about it, and literally I have seen a lot of tweets like Google lied to us over years. What's the actual cause behind it? So I'm just gonna answer it, and I'm really sorry about the unstructured video format that you guys are not used to seeing. So yeah, I will be releasing an in-depth analysis and coverage as part 2 later on. And if any Google engineer by any chance is watching this video, I'm sorry, it's too late. Okay, so jokes apart, the Google API Content Warehouse documentation was leaked on GitHub. This reveals an internal details about Google's search engine APIs, and what that is, you can think of it as a documentation, as a guide for Google's search engine team, similar to libraries card catalog, right? So it informs Google's team member about the available resources and how to access those resources, starting from like crawling to indexing and ranking the search results. So yeah, and one important thing to note here is that none of the API features in this leak document proves that something is a ranking factor, right? So I will address that later in the video as well. Okay, so there are almost 2,596 modules in total and 14,000 features in their API that was leaked, impacting services like YouTube, Google Assistant, and Google Books as well. And one important thing is that there was one document that really nailed down like literally all of the what do you call it? The factors and with their explanation, and it's from the website iPullRank by Mike King, and I will link to it in the description as well if you are a technical nerd and if you want to read about it. But spare your complete afternoon and evening just to go through that document. But I really try to simplify the things for you guys. So these features include like signals used to rank search results. For example, the UGC discussion effort score measures the quality of user-generated content. Think of like forums, right? While the product review promote page relates to promoting product reviews, and it's somewhat related to the product review update that we had for specifically targeting affiliate websites for product reviews. And the system, like the Google system, uses a shared network environment where all the code is stored in one place. And this one was one of my findings that I really liked. Like the code is not dispersed or in 10 or 15 different places. It's all in one place, and any machine can be a part of it. Means in Google's infrastructure, any computer or server within their system can access and work with the code stored in this central repository. So this setup allows different parts of Google services like YouTube, even Google Books, even Assistant, to easily share and use the same code and resources. And this is something that what we talk about when it comes to semantic SEO, like it's all the thing behind when you really want to optimize the pages, optimize the website in a way that it reduces the cost for search engines like Google to access your website and in order to ultimately rank it. So there are several inconsistencies between what Google representatives publicly stated and what is documented internally. Charles Flood shared exact quotes from John and Gary that shared like links doesn't matter and we don't use domain authority as a part of it and stuff like that. So he shared the exact quotes that they either discussed in their videos, their like Google Office hours, or either in their Gary shared in the form of tweets. So the first thing is clicks and rankings. Publicly, Google said that, including Gary and John, have stated that clicks are not directly used in ranking, right? Nonetheless, internal documents, the document that was leaked, and patrons revealed that systems like NavBoost, and that one was the really important one. NavBoost do use click data to influence your search rankings, including metrics like good clicks, bad clicks, and the last longest clicks. I will explain that in that later. So NavBoost also scores queries like the keywords for user intent. So how it does that, I will share it later in the video. So for the good clicks, bad clicks, and the last longest clicks. Rand Fishkin shared his research on mouse.com when he was working with them. So a good click typically means that the user clicked on the search results and found the information really useful, possibly indicating by not returning immediately to the search results. So Google is using like what's your behavior inside the, like while you are using Chrome as a browser. So what you're like literally every single tab that you're doing, they are recording it, right? So if you click the search result, how much time that did you spend on the page, and what was your behavior? Did you return back to the main homepage of Google to keep researching about it until you find the answer? And then the bad clicks are considered negative and unhelpful. And a bad click might be when a user clicks on a search result but quickly returns to the search page, indicating that the content was not relevant or satisfactory. That's why I always suggest and tell in my videos to work on really your above default part, including your introduction, including your image, like the featured image that you're using, right? So this is really the concept of pogo sticking. If you don't know about it, you can just quickly search about it on Google. And then the last is the longest click. It refers to the click that resulted in the user spending the longest amount of time on a page during a search session. So for example, you started searching for something and you spent the longest amount of time on a web page. It is an indicator of high engagement and satisfaction with the content that is found on the page. And I told this in my content SEO audit video as well. You can go ahead and watch it. So the power of NavBoost and the intent of the user is likely the most powerful ranking factor in Google's system. So for example, if you were searching about something and you typed in the keyword, but you went on like the second page or third page to find that, and you clicked on, let's say, like the 32th like the 30th ranking website, and you clicked on it, Google instantly learned that you were looking for that thing in that location, like wherever you are searching. Doesn't matter if you are searching in California, that means people there were searching for that thing, and like a group of people searched, clicked the same result. So Google will quickly learn that the intent behind searching the specific term is just finding that solution. Understand that? So and then there's site links. Like Google uses the number of clicks on page in Chrome browser that uses to determine the most important URLs on the site, which go into a calculation, which include the site links feature. What do I mean by that is, so for example, if you have got a website and most of the people open, like if there is a SaaS website, right? So they open like the login page right when they are opening the website, like right after opening the website, right? So Google, like, and they are doing it in the Chrome browser and they are recording it. So your site links will contain that login page. Same goes for the other pages on the website, like the about page or other like the blog page. So it will be included in your site links, right? So then there is a whitelist. So Google is whitelisting particular domains that are that are appropriate to show for highly controversial or potentially programmatic queries. For example, COVID and politics. So let's say whenever you search for like COVID symptoms or anything related to COVID, Google has decided to show really, a set of websites that they want to show to get that particular information. And the same goes for the politics, right? So there was a scam, not a scam, but a study by Cambridge Analytica, if I'm not wrong. So it was related to US politics. So there is a movie available for that in Netflix. I will link that in the description if you want to just see how they made it. I'm not relating that to search results, but I'm relating the point of politics, like how people can use search engine to manipulate the political results or political perceptions of people. So the Cambridge Analytica thing was related to the Facebook. So quality raters, we all know that, like we have the quality rater guideline documents as well. So their perceptions and ratings of websites are very important and can directly impact search results. So what happens is all of their feedback is used to train search engines what what are on the SERPs and which results are helpful and which are not, which websites are helpful and which ones are not. And one really important thing, these are all of my opinions and whatever I was able to research. So it, like, anything could be, like, you can disagree with it and you can let me know in the comments, and you can agree with it, right? And lastly, the next thing is the sandbox effect. So Google denies the existence of sandbox that affects new websites' ability to rank. So I have discussed it a lot in 2020 when building Amazon affiliate websites with my friends, and we discussed it a lot. But Google publicly denies it, like there is no sandbox effect for new websites, right? So, however, these internal documentation mentions an attribute called host age that uses sandbox fresh spam, indicating that new sites might need to subject to a special treatment. Like the new sites will be treated separately compared to the one that are already in Google's database. So Google stores domain registration dates to inform the sandboxing of new content and domains that change ownership. So you can get the idea why not expired domains but aged domains really work well. So and then the ranking signals, Google has a system called real-time boost that uses real-time data to adjust search rankings. So this system indicates data from Chrome wizards, especially like the Chrome browser wizards, meaning that they use information about what people do in Chrome to decide how to rank search results, even though they have denied this publicly, right? So Google collect extensive user interaction metrics through Chrome to refine their search engines, that I said earlier as well. All right, so then we have the type of system, like from the crawling, indexing, rendering, processing, ranking, and serving. So I will link to Andrew's article as well in the description, where you can visually see the exact graph of how this looks like. So for crawling, they use a system called Crawler to gather the data and update web pages. For indexing, it's the system that they use is called Alexandria and Terra Google to store and organize their web pages. And then for rendering, and then for processing, ranking, and serving. So it's they have different systems for all of these steps. And then we have a specific system. So it's mainly on the ranking part. So Mustang, it's the main system for scoring and ranking pages. And then we have NavBoost. It adjusts the ranking based on user click behavior that I shared earlier. So you must invest in a well-designed site with intuitive architecture so you can optimize for NavBoost. So what do I mean by that is, if I have been talking about it, like you should have a really good navigation bar to optimize it for your user experience, but no one listens, right? So this is one of the findings. Like you must have a well-designed site. You can look at all of the branded websites, even the health line, like that's the biggest in the health space, right? So they really nail down that from the navigation point of view. So we have then the snippet brain. It generates the summaries that you see in the search results. Then we have NavBoost query. This one was the example given by Ren Fishkin. So Google examines clicks and engagements on searches both during and after the main query. So for example, when you search anything, Google determines like what you said before and what you researched after. And as far as I remember, Steve Toth shared one of the strategies for keyword research as well. So for example, if you're working, let's say, crypto space, just search for something on Google and then press the backspace or the delete key on the keyboard, and then again search for something. Google will start giving you the suggestion in the autocomplete related to your last search. So it works like this. Like Google is learning whatever you are searching on your search bar. Then we have an example with my name. So for example, if many users search for Umar Faizan and don't find GrowthWinner there, and they immediately change their query to GrowthWinner and click growthwinner.com in the search results. So now growthwinner.com and the websites mentioning GrowthWinner will receive a boost in search engines for Umar Faizan keyword as well. So if you can't understand it, you can just go ahead and re-listen to this. So then we have this point is really obvious now. like search results are personalized based on user location and device type. And I already gave you the example of like if you're searching for something and clicked on the 30th result, you were not able to find the result earlier on the page. So then we have the Google ranking system is not a single monolithic algorithm. Like it's not the one thing, but a collection of microservices that work together to process and rank search results. So maybe I'm sounding like very technical, but all of this was already present on Google's patents, right? So it was already explained, but Google patents are very, very difficult to understand. So that's why I always share a strategy of patent link building that I previously learned from Eric. So patent link building is the same, like you really translate or you simplify your patents in your net. So each microservice handles a specific task like crawling web pages, indexing content, rendering JavaScript, etc., and they collectively contribute to the final search results that is shown to users, right? So then we have twiddlers. These are the re-ranking functions used by Google to adjust search results just before they present it to users, right? So, for example, the example systems for twiddlers would be NavBoost that I explained in detail earlier, the quality boost, real-time boost. I explained the real-time boost as well that adjusts the rankings in real time based on the fresh data, like whatever the user is searching in that location and whatever they searched before and so on and so forth. And then web image boost, like it optimizes the ranking of image results. Like that's why the image SEO is really important. I will be sharing about it in my semantic SEO series real soon. Okay, so after this lake, you can clearly say that entities are very important according to this lake. So selling scores for the entities is mentioned in the lake document. I'm not referencing to the actual line of that lake because it will be really difficult again to understand. So I just wanted to simplify it rather than making it more complex. So I have a tool that checks for selling score for all of the entities that we're targeting, and I use it for titles, headings, and intro optimization. So for example, if you're targeting XYZ tech entity and I optimize my title, my headings, and my intro for that specific entry. You can do it even on paragraph level, but it's not worth it in the end. You will end up, over optimizing for those entities. And then authors are an explicit feature. That's the next point. So Google tracks authorship by storing the names of document authors and determine if the entity on the page is author. So Google is not storing those authors as a separate database, but it's identifying those names on all of the text on your page and then identifying if that name is an author. Right, so is an entity, sorry. So this implies a significant emphasis on author-related signals for content evaluation. So I will be sharing more in the next point. So next, not all of the internal links are treated equally. So there was one feature called dropped local anchor count. So that feature suggests Google sometimes ignores certain internal links. There is no exact mention which those internal links are. So my guess is it could be related to maybe those sitemap links that the HTML sitemap link that we put in, or maybe links in the footer that we just for the sake of it we just put them there. It could be anything, like there is no exact mention. So and the next point is the Panda update uses a scoring system based on the user behavior and external link, which can be applied to different levels like this domain level, subdomain level, and the subdirectory level. So and for the Panda scoring system, it's based on two main factors: the number of independent links, like the group domains linking to the sites, that is identified as referring domains in Ahrefs, right? And then reference queries, that is specific search queries related to the sites. So basically, Panda uses data from Google NavBoost system to find relevant search term that is called as reference queries, right? So next up, we have Google explicitly stores authors associated with documents. That I said earlier, it's related to the previous point. So my suggestion would be, and it was a suggestion given by Mike as well, like to use the schema.org and like slash author schema on your website. So just go ahead and implement the author schema on your website right now. Since there are not a lot of websites, I think like there are a couple of them that use author schema on their website, like those websites that really do care about their SEO, right? And one thing that I would say is EEAT is really overhyped by SEOs. Like there is literally not that much stress in those links about EEAT or whatever Google is saying publicly about it, right? So yeah, and then there is and it's my suggestion to place the most important content early in the document to ensure it's fully considered. So I can't remember the exact feature that mentions it, but this was a suggestion for like the Google gave importance to the early content above the fold content on the website. So that remind me of Corey's explanation of micro versus macro context. So always explaining like you should be really talking about your main topic above the fold, and then you can add the micro context of it later in the form of FAQs or anything like that. And then we have title match score. So this measures how well the page title matches user queries, and the implication of it would be to include your target keywords prominently in page titles. So Kyle Roof has been saying about the title, URL, and other four kings that includes in the on-page SEO. Like you should be really targeting your keyword in your title tag. I have slight different opinion, right? So but whatever I have tested, your exact match primary keyword that you are targeting, if you put it in the page title, it really impacts, right? So I will briefly explain it in the next video. So Google does not count the character in metadata for ranking purposes. So I have seen, you should have like 256 characters for meta description or XYZ characters for, the title or anything like that. If it's visible to your in the search engine, you're good to go. So optimize metadata for, to optimize your click-through rate rather than, strict character limits. And then we have Google uses multiple type of dates to evaluate content freshness. Like what type of those features that are being used is byline date, synthetic date, and then semantic date. So I have gave the explanation of what all of those means. So it's like irregularly updated content falls in the lowest category or lowest storage priority of Google, and it is definitely not showing up for freshness, right? So in short, freshness is a ranking factor. Content freshness. So it is very important to update your content with unique information, new images, or video content. Sorry. So then we have the consistency in date representation. As I said earlier, Google do notice what's the date that the page was published, and then when it was renewed or added something. So what I do always is having I refresh the date since we use WordPress for most of our CMS or either Shopify. So I just go ahead and update the published date of that post or the page that we are updating. So you can easily do it using the update feature in WordPress. So then it's consistency in date representation across structured data, page titles, XML sitemaps. It's really important. So if you want to know how you can do that, just comment down and I will create a video on how you can implement it inside the structured data. So then Google has something called page quality. One of the most interesting parts of this measurement is that Google uses an LLM based on efforts for the articles on page. And this is something that Cyrus mentioned. Cyrus is but was a Google quality rater. So he mentioned about it in Chiang Mai while I was on the conference, that Google really measures effort that was put in the content. So this sounds like a value that is helpful for Google in determining whether a page could be replicated easily or not. So images, videos, unique information, and depth of information. So for example, I talk a lot about information gain, and I will be talking about it in my upcoming videos as well. So they stand out as ways to score high on effort calculation. So the more effort that you can show that you put in the page, so the more it, the quality of the page is higher, right? I was about to say the more it ranks higher. So then the sites with more than 50% of the pages containing video content are treated differently and considered video focused. So you can watch out my video on technical SEO audit for this. I have already talked about the video schema. Since the video, the website with more videos is treated differently, the website with not a lot of videos. So think of the videographers, or those websites that share videos as a part of their content. So then we have Google has special classifiers for content that falls under YMYL category, so which includes topics that can impact a person's health, financial stability, safety, or well-being. In short, like Google has special algorithm or special classifier that treat your YMYL category and news websites differently, right? Especially the news targeting these categories, including health, either finances or safety or well-being, right? Think of like a mental health website, right? So then we have Google flags certain documents as gold standard, indicating they are of high quality and possibly manually reviewed. I already talked about it in my quality rater point. So then we have topical authority. We were hearing this word a lot, like in past years. So this document leak confirms that topical authority is real. Google use embeddings to understand the topical relevance of the content. So embeddings such as like page embedding, site focus score, site radius, all of these are the different embeddings that Google use as vector representation that capture the semantic meaning of the content. So I'm referring to the semantic SEO part here. So if you have a site where SEO is important, you should really remove or even block the pages that are not topically relevant. And I talked about it in my content SEO audit video, and the next point is really relevant to it. So remove poorly performing pages as well. So if user metrics are bad and no links are pointing to the page, then that page should be eliminated. So this point was noticed by Andrew from Content Sprout. So that guy shared like you should not be having those pages, and I literally talked about it in my content SEO audit video. You can go ahead and watch that video if you want to know how to do the content SEO audit. So lastly, your content should be clear, concise, and topically relevant in each section without drifting too far. What do I mean by that is for each heading, like you should not be really concerned, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and add something just to meet the word count. So you should not be really doing that. Just aim for like the clear, concise, or topically relevant content. Even the short content would rank. I will talk about it later. So Google has a specific attribute called small personal site, which aligns a score to a small personal sites. I mean the small blogs, or the newer website, or the small businesses. So for most small and medium-sized businesses and newer creators or publishers, SEO is likely to show poor returns until you have established credibility, navigational demand, and strong reputation among a sizable audience. What do you mean by that is, for example, if you are starting a business, honestly speaking, I'm an SEO and I have been doing SEO for a long time. If SEO doesn't seem to be the first marketing tactic, you should not be really, just care too much about it, right? So if you have, let's say, like already a small brand presence, or somewhere like that, and you really want to add SEO as your content marketing part, so that really would make sense to build more credibility, and people are searching for your name, whatever you are doing offline, like you're building your business offline Google, like not entirely dependent on Google. So I don't know if the publishers are gonna hate me, but Google has killed a lot of affiliate website in the recent March update as well. Not the recent, but it's been almost 2 months. So yeah, short content does not equal to thin content, and it can rank. So it has a different scoring system that is applied to short content. So just don't care about the word count, and word count. It can rank, right? So we had a website for one of our clients, and the product description pages were not really had a lot of content, but those were really helpful and really targeted for our audience, like who were about to buy that big ticket item. So the item was around like $15,000 to $20,000. So they were really looking for the accessories, and we added like the really small content, and that pages got indexed, right? So that's it. So you should you take it personal? Really no. So because they were not lying to SEOs directly, that's just my opinion. Most likely they were lying to other search engines like Bing, right? So I agree there was a document that was leaked, but what exactly was leaked? I was on Charles Floor podcast before this video. So we don't know, like there was an active algorithm that was leaked, or those were tested factors or anything like that. Plus there are like 14,000 attributes, and they have no weight assigned to them. So we can be sure, like if XYZ factor has more weight compared to ABC factor, right? So I think that's it. With this part, lastly, I would want to talk about the backlink specific things, since those are my favorite ones. So if you want to see like visual resource that shows a relationship between most of those important modules, you can go ahead and use this URL. And then we have the backlink specific things. Like links are important in SEO, and they will be, like it's in Google's DNA. I have been shouting about it for past 1 year. So like I started doing videos for like a couple of months ago. So despite some claims that they might be less important, Gary mentioned it. So there's no strong evidence supporting that. So Google has 3 buckets, or you can say tiers, for classifying their links. Link indexes. One is low, medium, and high quality. So the click data is used to determine which link graph index tier is a document that it belongs to. So for example, what links people are clicking on, right, on the web page. So for example, if it's a guest post, so they will analyze like where is the location of that link, if people are linking or not, and so on and so forth. So that is just my observation or my understanding. And then we have the domain authority. So Google employs often claims they do not use domain authority. That's a lie. So however, internal documents like this leaked one shows that a metric called site authority used in their ranking system. So yeah. So with the indexing tier impacts, there is a feature called source type metric. This measures the value of a link based on where the page is indexed. So fresh pages, like they are treated as high quality. Think of guest posts. I will talk about it. So link from these pages are that are ranking well have higher value. So we can talk about it in 2 ways. One is link insertion, and second one is guest posts. So guest posts and digital PR carry more weight, and link insertions in highly ranked pages or pages with consistent traffic have higher value. So it's 2 ways. Guest posts are published as fresh documents, and then we have link insertions that we get from like already ranking or pages with traffic, right? So I was surprised with this fact. Like guest posts are better than niche edges. So if you need those guest posts, you can just contact me or at Umar at GrowthWinner.com, or you can just go ahead and buy those link packages on our website, GrowthWinner.com/link packages. So according to the Fresh Strokes, which is a link value multiplier, links from the newer pages are better than the older ones. I already explained it. So once the link becomes trusted, because it belongs to high tier index, it can flow page rank and anchors, or to be filtered, demoted by the link spam systems. So links from the low quality link index won't hurt sites ranking. They are merely ignored. So for example, if you have links from the webs, coming from low low quality link, it won't hurt your ranking much. One of my friends in SEO says like link is link. So then we have Google tracks spikes in the spam anchor text using matrices. I highlighted those matrices. I think those are not here, so I did them as a comment. So it can identify link spam or negative SEO and can nullify a certain surge in backlinks. So there was another point about, so for the disavow part, they may be used to, they are using it for spam classifier rather than real-time link value adjustment. So my suggestion is don't stress too much about your disavow file, right? So then we have Google tracks all changes to a page but only considers those changes that the last 20 changes for their link analysis. So what do I mean by that is Google has their database just like Wayback Machine, so they can really assess what changes that you have made. So, sorry. So frequent changes might be necessary to reset Google's perception of page quality, right? And then homepage page rank is considered for all pages until they establish their own page rank. So the suggestion, as I always say, build maximum number of links to your homepage, right? So the fourth last thing is Google tracks the average weighted font size of terms and links in the documents as well. So while you are doing the on page, I always stressed that you should be have some of your important text or including your entities to be highlighted with either the strong or bold attribute, or even they are colored, they are underlined, or anything like that, since Google notices that, right? So same goes for anchor text in your guest post. So your anchor text should be colored, underlined, and visible. Most of the guest post forms have the same color as of their anchor text as their main text of the page, right? So so the links that appear early in the document have more worth. So whenever you are doing any guest posting or anything like that, if it makes sense, and you should really try doing it, to have the links to be appear earlier in the content, maybe from introduction, right? But what I like to do is having the internal link earlier in the document, and then add my link later, since we need to make it like really natural, right? And then the link diversity, so it matters a lot. Like you should get a wide variety of link pointing to your website rather than sticking to one kind of thing. That's why I'm stressing on link insertions as well as guest posts, digital PR, whatever it makes sense. Even the really good forum links. So in order to diversify your link profile, you should not be focus on one thing. With the quality and relevance of links, they are more important than volume, and I have been saying about it a lot. Like you should not really care about like building let's say like 250 links and those all are garbage, right? Just to match the volume. So I have been saying like it's more of on the quality and relevance side rather than pumping out the volume, provided your competitors are building like the same number of links that you want to. So you just need to be better and faster than your competitors, right? And finally, the last point, Google keep track of how well anchor text matches your linked content. So it's not like your anchor text is not matching your the website that you're linking to. So it should really match to show like the natural thing, right? So the system consider whether the context whether anchor text is relevant and accurate. So these are two things, and if there is a mismatch, it can affect how the link and the page are rated, right? So if you are just messing up with your anchor text, so it will really hurt your overall link building strategy. So special thanks to Mike from iPod Rank, that really helped me. Like I literally spent 6 and then 4 and then 2. 6 and 12 hours, reading that document, getting help from even ChatGPT, Gemini, like to, analyze all of those leak factors. I'm not done yet, so I will create a part 2 for that. So pardon me for this unstructured form of video, but I really, really hope that you got value out of it, took notes, and yeah, that's it. So if you have any suggestion, if you have any opinions, comment down in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye bye.